So today we are sitting here with François Martelet, CEO of Oasmia. Warm welcome.
Good morning, Jonathan.
You have been with Oasmia for nearly a year. A lot has happened. From your point of view, what has been the biggest challenges, but also what are you most impressed of within the company? Is it the platform, or can you say something about that?
Great question. I mean, certainly we have done a lot in 1 year. I mean, clearly, you know, Oasmia had a kind of a sleepy strategy that needed to be completely revamped. So that was the first thing to do, you know, re-articulate a proper strategy that will propel again Oasmia into the growth phase. So that was done, you know, in a couple of months, you know, last year. And then, of course, you know, essentially you need to build a good team, you know. Without a good team, you cannot perform, you know, whatever good product you have. And that took me some time to build. And then, obviously, we were quite proud to negotiate and agreed upon this deal, you know, with regard to the technology platform with Apealea. That's certainly a very positive point. But overall, you know, it has been a challenging but very positive year, you know.
So you do have the right team right now? Or
no, absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I mean, clearly, you know, if I would benchmark Oasmia versus other companies in the same sector, I can certainly say that we have one of the best teams in the industry. If I look at the CFO, CBO, CMO, and that's important. And people tend to underestimate that, especially some investors as well. It's important to have a good team. It's essential.
Can you elaborate a bit on the latest in-license deal of Cantrixil? Why is that a good fit for Oasmia?
Yeah, so, you know, I realized that was part of the re-articulation of a proper growth strategy. I realized that you need to grow, and how to best to grow at Oasmia is the string of pearls strategy. And Cantrixil is the first one of that kind. Others will follow. Why is it good, Cantrixil, for Oasmia? Well, clearly, this is a compound in ovarian cancer, in which we have a decent level of expertise, as you know, because we have an approved product in Europe in ovarian cancer. So that's point one. Two, we could also use Cantrixil with our technology platform. So we will be testing the IV formulation as well. And then you know that Cantrixil will be used in intraperitoneal formulation and for advanced ovarian cancer patients. And we believe that this is a great deal. Why as well? Because we, and that was part of my strategy with the string of pearls, we want to license in phase 1b positive data and compounds. So, because of course you're de-risking your strategy moving forward if you have already a phase 1b drug that is compound that is already at that stage. Yeah. With Cantrixil we have top-line results. We could see the top-line results with a lot of confidence, good safety data and good signals in efficacy. And down the road, I think fairly quickly, at AACR, which is a major conference in cancer, the final results will be released.
The compound is in phase 1 trials. What type of potential do you see moving into the next phases? What are the risks? And can you say something about the potential in terms of sales in a blue sky scenario?
Right. So 2021 for Cantrixil, for the rest of the year, we will be working on a supply agreement. Of course, that's very important, and on designing clinical plans. And we would like to go to the FDA and to the European authorities in order to validate those clinical plans. You know that it's extremely important to have such a validation. So that will be done during the course of the year. At the same time, we will get advice from key opinion leaders and significant authorities in Europe and in the US in order to design those plans as well. The sales potential, okay, so Cantrixil has been used so far in very, very advanced cancer patients. And the plan is to move slightly ahead and use the compound in earlier lines of treatments. Okay, and in that case, you can think about a couple of $100 million, could be US dollars, should be the kind of potential upfront for Cantrixil.
Yeah. What kind of investments are needed to move Cantrixil towards other indication and not only ovarian?
Right. So Cantrixil, you know, the beauty of it is that this compound is active against CD44 plus cancers, and bladder cancer, colorectal cancer are potentially the other indications we could develop. Now, we would need to go back to phase 1 and phase 2 for those indications. So investment-wise, we are talking about, you know, between 10 and 20 million US dollars per indication.
Yeah. You presented a partnership with Karolinska Institutet. What does that mean for Oasmia?
Yeah, so we are very proud to have been able to sign this off. Why? Because obviously it does show that some credibility with regard to our platform, and we are very pleased to work with such a reputable institutions in Sweden. So that means that Karolinska will be investigating the biological properties of Apealea and other compounds as well. That means once you re-administer the micelle in the blood, you know, the micelle does itself and the API reach the target. So we want to understand better how does that work. Yeah. Above all, this project will aim at identifying a number of new APIs that we can potentially work with our technology platform, especially XR18, which is the potentially the upgraded version of our current platform.
When can shareholders expect some news from this partnership? Is it in some years, or how will the potential news flow look like?
Yeah, it's always difficult to say that, and you know, because research is, you know, it's not necessarily linked to the time, but we certainly will update the market at each step of the project. So expect certainly some news in 2021.
If there is a new compound yielding from this partnership, will Oasmia own the compound to 100%?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you will invest and sponsor this partnership, you can say?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes.
Since the latest news, there are some thoughts about the lack of upcoming news for investors. What kind of news can they look up for, say, the upcoming 6 months?
Right. Okay, I mean, I want to say, first of all, that in this biotechnology sector, you cannot expect news every single week. And I will not fabricate news, of course. Like some other companies do a little bit of that. Yeah. But this is not the style, not my style as well. So for the rest of the year, you would expect the docetaxel micellar with the SAC study to be initiated, absolutely. You would expect the top-line results of the Cantrixil, phase 1b, to be released. You would expect some news with regard to the partnership with Elevar, absolutely as well. And you know that we are screening the market constantly, and we will continue to do so in order to beef up our pipeline, to get a critical mass of our pipeline as soon as possible.
Yeah. Will Elevar communicate when they start the phase 3 trial and the PK study?
No, absolutely, they will do so, okay. And this is the commitment that they did, you know, at their December 2020 conference. Yeah. Yes.
Likewise, when Inceptia will start sales, potential sales in Europe.
Absolutely, as well. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Can you say something more about animal health assets? Is it moving towards the correct targets?
Yeah, you know that this is not our core business, and you know that I have stated that a number of times already, that now we have mandated an external firm in order to either partner or divest our animal health business. This process takes usually 6 to 9 months to a year. We are in the middle of it. I can tell you there are leads, so there is a decent level of interest for this portfolio. So we are very happy, of course.
Interesting. That was all for me, Francois. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Jonathan. A pleasure.